Hey there guys, welcome back to another sports stuff video. Today, we're going to be talking about the New York Jets and their offseason plan. So if you guys do enjoy, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when I post next. Go into the description, click my link tree, follow me on everything, especially TikTok. I'm posted near daily on there. So if you guys do enjoy, please follow me on all my social media. Let's get to the video. And before we officially start the plan, let's talk about Aaron Glenn. I did a video about when he would, the day after he got hired. I made a video about it. Aaron Glenn, I thought, was a really great hire for the New York Jets. Not only is he a great defensive coordinator, but he's also a leader of men, right? And we all can agree that the New York Jets, it's a toxic work environment right now, right? Whether it's because of Aaron Rodgers, the owner, the GM who's now gone as well. It's a new GM, new coach. In my opinion, more than likely will end up being a new quarterback. But as of right now, it is still Aaron Rodgers. But the New York Jets, they have a window, right? They have a very small window to correct the ship with Aaron Rodgers and win a Super Bowl. It's very slim, but the chance is there. And Aaron Glenn, I think, is a great coach to lead that ship. So I'm very happy. It's A+ hire. This defense is immediately going to be really good, and the offense hopefully can turn it around. There's rumors that, there's different guys that he's going to hire as the OC. There's no official hire yet, but it's a lot of names I'm hearing that it's all really good. So I'm excited for what the New York Jets can become. But starting off, we have $20.7 million in cap space before any cuts or trades. So let's go to the first cut and or trade. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers. Listen, I understand that Aaron Glenn and Aaron Rodgers have both said, we're willing to see how the relationship works. Aaron Glenn is saying, as of right now, Aaron Rodgers is our quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is saying, as of right now, I intend to come back to the Jets. But I don't believe it. I think what they're trying to do is remain the trade value that is there, right? I think there is still trade value for Aaron Rodgers, but I just don't think anyone's going to trade for him. I think the Jets are going to eventually part ways with him. This past year, he had 3,800 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Still a really good turnover ratio. Solid yardage. A lot of teams would love to have that out of their quarterback. Word is he's going to retire, but I really don't think he's going to retire. I think he's going to return, and they're going to move on from him. But if he does return, he cannot play for the New York Jets. New GM and new head coach do not want Aaron Rodgers. They do not want to be tied to that contract, tied to that level of play from the quarterback. Let him play elsewhere. The decline was very evident, but I do see a starting quarterback still in Aaron Rodgers next season, whether that's in Cleveland, whether that's in New York, wherever it's going to be. I do see Aaron Rodgers playing next year as a starter. I just don't see it for the New York Jets, right? Maybe he goes to the Giants, maybe he goes to the Raiders, maybe he goes to, I don't even know, Seattle. I don't care. I just don't see Aaron Rodgers as a Jet. He saved $9.5 million cutting him, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Next, we have Allen Lazard is going to be going with his buddy Aaron Rodgers. Allen Lazard had 37 receptions, 530 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Not an awful signing, but the signing was obviously to appease Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he was, someone that they would have given $33 million to, but they, obviously because they wanted to appease Aaron Rodgers, they did that. All right, need to move off of his money. $11 million you save by cutting him. Let guys play that need to get developed. Whether it's what's the one kid's Xavier Gibson. Whether it's him, whether it's the guy that you draft. I think Allen Lazard is taking up too much money and in a roster spot and playing time from a younger player who can end up being better than Allen Lazard. So let's move on from Allen Lazard, cut him, save $11 million. Next, we are going to be trading Davante Adams. Yes, the trio of Green Bay Packers in New York we're getting rid of. Davante Adams, 85 receptions, 1,000 yards, and 8 touchdowns. He came to New York to play with Aaron Rodgers. He did not come to New York to play on the New York Jets. He came to play with Aaron Rodgers. So if I'm the GM, I cut Aaron Rodgers, I cut Allen Lazard. Davante Adams is obviously the next guy to go, and I can trade him for a pretty solid trade package. He wants to win a ring, so let's trade him somewhere that he thinks he can win a ring, somewhere he thinks he can compete to win a ring. Let me rephrase that. Multiple teams have started bidding war for him. I think that will raise the price since, multiple teams will be bidding for him. I can see him holding out of camp if not traded. So, maybe if they don't want to trade him, he's a holdout wanting to get traded to go and try and win a ring somewhere. So I decided to trade him to Pittsburgh because while they're, not, in my opinion, a Super Bowl caliber team, they still are always a playoff team. Mike Tomlin's one of the best coaches in the NFL. So I think Davante Adams would love to play for Mike Tomlin. Not a toxic wide receiver, just goes in, plays good, goes home. So Pittsburgh, they get Davante Adams. New York Jets, due to a bidding war, get their 2025 second round pick, number 53 overall. So you basically trade away a second round pick to get Davante Adams, and then you get a second round pick back from the Steelers to trade away Davante Adams. And you save $36 million doing that. So you've saved a crap ton of money trading Davante Adams, cutting Allen Lazard, and cutting Aaron Rodgers. So then we're also going to be doing some restructures. Quentin Williams, again, whenever you do a restructure, you only want to really restructure guys that you see playing for your team for many, many more years. Quentin Williams will probably retire a Jet, so restructuring him, I have no issue. $11.5 million, meaning that we now have $89.8 million to do some re-signings and some free agency signings. So first, with re-signings with $89 million, we're going to be re-signing Isaiah Oliver. So Isaiah Oliver had 48 tackles, 0 interceptions, 16 run stops, and 2 pass breakups his last year with the New York Jets. In my opinion, I let DJ Reed walk, right? You have DJ Reed as an outside corner with Sauce Gardner. I think Isaiah Oliver can step up and play that outside corner role. He played about 600 snaps this year, so he played basically starter snaps in the slot for them. He has played a lot of ball. He's very experienced, and I think you can get a starter for really cheap because you say to Isaiah Oliver, "Hey, we're gonna re-sign you with expectations that you're gonna start. But if we draft someone that plays over you, they'll probably start over you. So I'll give you 1 year, $4 million, fully guaranteed. Because for no matter what, Isaiah Oliver is making the team. But is he going to be a slot guy, an outside corner to replace DJ Reed, or is he a bench piece? So no matter what, Isaiah Oliver gets his money, and you have the upside of, hey, at worst, he's a very good veteran on our bench that if, in case of injury, we can start him on both outside and slot corner. Or on the high end, you get a starter out of that for $4 million. That's pretty darn good for a veteran. Next, we have Tony Adams. We'll be re-signing Tony Adams, the safety, that is. He had 52 tackles, 1 interception, 17 run stops, and 5 pass breakups this past season. He is all over the field. He doesn't just play safety. He plays strong and free safety. He played some corner. He played some linebacker. So for me, I'm going to restricted free agency tag him. I'm not going to let him even touch free agency. We're going to tender him. So what we're going to do is give him a second-round tender. So if a team wants to sign Tony Adams, they have to send us a second-round pick, and they can then sign him to a contract. So at worst, we sign Tony Adams, a very solid safety, for $5.2 million. That's the second-round tender for Tony Adams. Or we let him walk and we get a second-round pick back. I don't see anyone signing Tony Adams for a second-round pick. So you can, you're willing to take that gamble. Adams was a UDFA, so you can't original round tender him. As far as the research I've looked into, you cannot ORFA, which is original rounds free agent. You cannot tag those guys. So Tony Adams, as a UDFA, when he was signed to the New York Jets, we had to second round tender him. Otherwise, I would probably just original round tender him. Let's say it was a 5th round pick. You original round tender him. Then, someone has to give you a 5th round pick to send him away. That's more realistic. No one is sending a second round pick for Tony Adams. He's developed into a very good starter. I don't see him as like a Pro Bowl guy, but for a dude who's going to bounce around the league for, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, that's where I see Tony Adams coming in. So we're going to tender him for 1 year. If he plays well in Aaron Glenn's system, you can always extend him. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing for Tony Adams, is tendering him. Next, we have Jamien Sherwood, the linebacker / safety hybrid. I see him more as a linebacker. He had 150 tackles, 2 sacks, and 59 run stops. He's developed into an elite tackler. This dude does not let runs get past him. CJ Mosley and Jamien Sherwood is an amazing duo at linebacker. Obviously, CJ Mosley, the veteran. Jamien Sherwood, who I believe was a 5th, 6th, or an undrafted free agent. Like, he was a late round pick or an undrafted free agent when they did sign him initially. For me, you need to rely on defense while the offense develops. If you do cut Aaron Rodgers and trade those wide receivers, you go into your young quarterback. So what I want to do if I'm going to young quarterback is I want to make sure this defense is as good as it can be. And you cannot rely on this defense without Jamien Sherwood. So I think they're going to regret if they let him walk. He's going to go somewhere else for a lot of money and be a really good player. So they gave him a 4-year, that is a 4-year, $65 million contract, $42 million guaranteed at 65% guaranteed. Exactly where I would love to sign these guys in free agency and re-signing. You guys know that 63 to 68% is my sweet spot. 65 is dead on what I like. So Jamien Sherwood, he gets a really big extension, a lot of guaranteed money, and the Jets get their linebacker that they know is going to be on the team for the future. I believe he's only 25 or 26, so you get him entering his prime. Then in free agency, after those 3 re-signings, we have $68 million. So we spent about $20 million on our own guys. Show the team that, hey, even though I'm a new head coach, new GM, we're going to reward you if you played well for the New York Jets in the past. I think that's really important to do. So in free agency, my first sign is going to be Cam Bynum. I go Cam Bynum mainly because Aaron Glenn knows how good he is, obviously because of their division rivals, and he had an amazing season this last year. 67 tackles, 3 interceptions, 13 run stops, 5 pass breakups. He has turned to a very reliable starting free safety. As I said, Tony Adams, I see more as a strong safety, free safety hybrid. Cam Bynum is that true free safety for this team. You have lots of rookie deal pass rushers, so let's upgrade the secondary, right? Obviously, you don't want to be signing pass rushers to mega contracts if you already have a bunch of guys on rookie contracts in that same role. You don't have a lot of safeties now. I let a lot of guys walk. I only re-signed Tony Adams. I didn't re-sign Ashton Davis. I didn't re-sign any of the veterans. So it's right now technically only Tony Adams as a starter with no backups. So Cam Bynum come in, be that true free safety for this team. We'll bring a different energy to this toxic locker room. Obviously, Cam Bynum was the leader in the Vikings locker room for all their dancing that they did on TikTok. And the group dances. That's Cam Bynum. So he comes in, brings a new energy, like a fun, cool guy energy, just like a good teammate energy. And I think that's exactly what the New York Jets need. So not only is he a good player, he's a good locker room presence. So I gave him a 4-year, $49 million deal, $32.5 million guaranteed. That's 66% guaranteed. The deal never goes above 14 and a quarter. That's really good for Cam Bynum. I do see him staying in Minnesota, but if he does somehow hit free agency, Aaron Glenn needs to run and grab Cam Bynum, because Cam Bynum can be not only the locker room presence he likes, but also is a really good run defending and solid pass defending safety who just is a good player and a good dude. And that's what you want in the NFL. Next, we're going to be grabbing his teammate, Cam Robinson, at tackle. Cam Robinson had a 65 PFF, 70 pass blocking, 60 run blocking. He's a very good starting left tackle on the market. He's, I believe, 28 years old. So right now he's in his prime. He had a really good bounce back season after being traded from Jacksonville. The interior offensive line is all good in returning, but the bookends of this offensive line are not, right? Obviously, you drafted, I believe it was Olu Fashanu is at left tackle. So Cam Robinson, either he goes to right tackle or Olu Fashanu goes to right tackle. Let's finish the bookends of this offensive line. This will help keep your quarterback upright, and the run game did slip due to no real outside protection. So while Cam Robinson isn't the best run blocker, he's better than 39-year-old Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses. So I'm willing to go Cam Robinson, finish that other side of the bookend. You have Olu Fashanu start for you as well. Your offensive line is now, at the moment, set. So I gave him a 3-year, $44.5 million deal, $34.5 million guaranteed. That is 77% guaranteed for a solid tackle that is going to, just play well. Averages out to about $15 million a year. That's not bad at all for a starting tackle in the NFL at this point where contracts are going. Next, we have our quarterback in Justin Fields. Justin Fields had 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception, plus 300 yards and 5 touchdowns rushing. He was 4-2 as a starter in Pittsburgh this year. In my opinion, he should have played more towards the end of the season. We saw Russ start to slip more and more as the year went on. I thought throw Justin Fields in there, especially in the playoffs. They should have thrown Justin Fields in there. But they stuck to their guns with Russell Wilson, and guess what? You got knocked out round 1. He showed he still has the skill to start if an offense leans into him. You got a lot of potential, and you get a potential 25-year-old franchise quarterback for dirt cheap, right? I gave him a 2-year, $20 million deal, $13 million guaranteed at 65%. But to me, this is a chapter 1 of potentially the rest of Justin Fields' career, right? Sign Justin Fields, lean into his ability as a rusher and, that quick screen game, that quick, intermediate field, and let him throw 1 or 2 deep balls a game. I think Justin Fields can be a very good quarterback in the NFL if a team believes in him and wants him. And I think the New York Jets are uniquely situated to be that exact spot. Great market, solid fan base, good defense, so you don't have to rely on Justin Fields to save the day. Good run game, good wide receivers, good offensive line. That's exactly what Justin Fields needs. And I think, again, this 2-year, $20 million contract is an investment into a potential 10-year starter for you. So Justin Fields in New York, I think, is a very solid fit. Next, we grab Darius Slayton, a possession receiver, 39 receptions, 573 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's honestly the last remaining 2017, 2018 Giant still on this team. He's an elite middle of the field slicer. This is a great, slot guy to get, 5, 6, 7 yards every catch. He had a 93 grade, went in the slot, 0 to 20 from slot. So again, from a slot receiver position, from 0 yards to 20 yards, he averaged a 93 grade from PFF. So it's an elite middle of the field catcher and get, those yak yards. Garrett Wilson plus a rookie on the outside with Darius Slayton in that slot. That is very good for the quarterback. I think he become a chain mover, a consistent dude just to get open get the yardage. I gave him the exact same Justin Fields contract, actually. 2-year, $20 million, $13 million guaranteed at 65%. So you get a very solid quarterback, a very solid wide receiver, a solid tackle, and a good safety. This team is on the races for the AFC East, right? They're now competing to try and win the AFC East after 1 year. But yeah, that's all my signings. Again, with $31 million with money before the draft. You want to save about $9 million before the draft, for your draft picks, because of that trade with Davante Adams and maybe potential trades to do during the draft. I'm going to say let's give about $14 million. So you have that's $17 million to still go out, maybe get another D tackle, go out and get another corner who's solidified. Whatever you want to do with that $17 million, go ahead. But I'm going to go into the draft trying to draft some replacements for the guys I let walk. So heading to the draft, here's what I do. So as you can see, at number 7, we trade back with the Dallas Cowboys. Ashton Jeanty was available at number 7. And I believe at number 8 is a team that could take a running back. I can't remember who it is who's at number 8. But whoever's at number 8, I thought could take Ashton Jeanty. So I trade back from 7 to 12 with the Cowboys. They give up their first and 2/3. Not a lot of trade package. Again, it's not for a quarterback. It's only 5 picks in the middle of the first round. The trade value is not going to be as much as you think. So a first and 2/3 to slide back 5 picks and still grab a guy that I think they would take at 7 in Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren is the best tight end prospect in this class. He could very well be the best receiving threats prospect in this class. He played great in the playoffs. He's a great blocker. He's a versatile weapon. You know, we saw what Sam Laporta can be for a Detroit Lions offense. So if it is rumored that either Tanner Eggstrand or Scotty Montgomery come over to be the offensive coordinator, they can still, run a similar offense. You put Tyler Warren in that Sam Laporta role. Boom. He's also 6'6", 260. He was a great deep threat, and obviously with that size, a great contested threat guy. But I think Aaron Glenn would love a Tyler Warren, who just gets his nose dirty in the run game. Really good catcher. I got another weapon to add to this offense. Then at 42, I'm going to be grabbing Cam Williams, the tackle from Texas. He's a great tackle prospect. Right now, he's definitely more athlete than offensive lineman. I love this level of play in the first season of him truly starting at right tackle at Texas. He doesn't need to start day one, right? That's why you draft Cam Robinson. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You sign Cam Robinson. You can then draft Cameron Williams and say, Cam Williams, if you want to sit for a year or two, that's A-okay. While you develop into more of a refined tackle, we can have Cam Robinson playing. Or if you want him to start day one, you can move him in the guard. I think you can easily play guard at the NFL level. But the interior offensive line overall is pretty good. So I'm willing to let Cam Williams sit at tackle and just develop, right? Just develop. I think it's very fluid for a dude his size at 6'5", 350, I think it is. So he could play guard, but I think he's good enough to play tackle in the NFL. So let him sit for a year or two at right tackle, whether it's Cam Robinson or Olu Fashanu, whoever you want to say is at right tackle. I think Cam Williams will sit behind them and eventually take the starting spot of Cam Robinson. Sorry. Then with the Davante Adams trade of number 53 from the Steelers, I am going to grab Jalen Royals. As you can see, for some reason, the Jets, it doesn't list Davante Adams as a part of their team. So I traded Malik Taylor in lieu of Davante Adams. So number 53 overall, we would grab the Davante Adams replacement in Jalen Royals. I love this wide receiver class. And Jalen Royals is one of those dudes that I am in love with when it comes to this wide receiver class. He's 6 foot, 205 pounds. He's a great route runner with amazing blazing speed. He was on pace for 1,200 yards, 83 receptions, and 9 touchdowns before he stopped playing after week 8 due to an injury. He's amazing against man coverage, blazing 4.3 speed, and he had 7 touchdowns, over 50 yards in his college career. He's a true number 1 in most offenses, so the fact that he can play number 2 in New York is amazing. You have Garrett Wilson, you then have Jalen Royals, Darius Slayton, and Tyler Warren. Those are 4 really good receiving threats. With this run game and offensive line I'm building, this offense would be moving. Then at number 76, I'm going to grab Charles Grant from William & Mary, another tackle prospect, but I think he does play guard in the NFL. He played left tackle at college, but due to his size, I see him at guard. He's best against pass coverage, but he's still a stout run blocker, but he's definitely better at pass coverage. He's a 3-year starter, improves massively every year. You get a starting O-lineman in the 3rd round. That is great value. Again, Charles Grant, I see him playing guard. Whether you let Elijah Vera Tucker walk or you let your veteran guard, I forgot his name, but I don't think it's Greg Van Roten. But your right guard, I believe, is a veteran. And I think Charles Grant, he'd easily start on the right guard in the future. But that's why I say Cam Williams, I think, can play tackle. Charles Grant, I think, can play guard in the NFL. So you get a potential starting guard in the future in the third round. That's really good. Then at 92 in the third round, JJ Peggs from Ole Miss. Again, you guys know I love these Ole Miss and South Carolina defensive linemen. JJ Peggs is just another dude that I really like. He's a solid run defender in the interior. Quentin Williams needs some help, man. He can't be the only D tackle on this team, and that's what it feels like. So JJ can come in and help him day one. He can pass rush as well with a 9.3% win rate when he does pass rush. That's pretty solid for the D tackle class this year. He stayed solid his entire college career. He never really became like an elite tier defensive tackle, but he's a good, solid starter. He can come in, play a role day one as a run stopper. That's something that you would love to get in the top 100 at number 92. Then at number 108, I'm going to grab Jack Kaiser, the linebacker from Notre Dame. He's really impressed me during the playoffs. This is his first year truly starting at Notre Dame. So, last few years has been rotation minutes. Now he's finally a starter, and he played great. He had 8 games with 4 or more tackles. He started all season, and he lowered his missed tackling rate from the last couple of seasons. So with more playing time, more tackle attempts, he lowered his missed tackled rate. He's an amazing a tackler, great run stuffer in the middle. I think him, Jamie and Sherwood, and CJ Mosley, that's a good linebacker room, and Jack Kaiser can come in and maybe in the future take over CJ Mosley's spot. But at 145 is a very interesting pick. I grabbed Kyle McCord, quarterback from Syracuse. So Kyle McCord, a potential QB1 in the future, right? I'm not saying he's going to be a QB1, but he has the big arm. He has the running ability. There's a possibility that Kyle McCord could become a serviceable quarterback in the NFL. You go into training camp then with Kyle McCord, Justin Fields, and Jordan Travis. They're all competing for quarterback 1. Obviously, the heavy favorite would be Justin Fields, Kyle McCord going number 2, and Jordan Travis going number 3. But all 3 of them play a somewhat similar game, with Kyle McCord probably having the biggest arm of the 3. He really proved to be a solid quarterback post Ohio State. He has a great deep ball. He was number 2 in college football this last year in deep yards with 1,200 yards. He was best under play action with a 14 touchdowns to 2 interceptions ratio. So in a play action offense, which again, I think the Jets are going to end up doing, because if they do hire someone from Detroit, heavy play action team, I think Kyle McCord would thrive in the NFL under play action as he did in college. And that is a very great pick at 145 to get a dude who loves play action, really big arm, and who can run as well. And that's exactly what Justin Fields and Jordan Travis are. So all 3 of them are different skill levels of the same, archetype of quarterback. Then at number 158, grabbing Tyler Batty, the edge rusher from BYU. He's a solid edge defender. He averages 25 pressures in his career a year. Solid win rate as well when in pass rushing. I see him more as a rotation guy. This edge room is very deep, but Aaron Glenn knows from his time in Detroit, having a deep, solid edge group is good, because, we literally saw in Detroit this year, their edge class, their edge room deteriorate as the year went, and they started getting guys off the street. Invest in the edges, invest in the trenches, and that investment will pay back tenfold later on in the season. Then at 186, I'm taking a safety in Hunter Wohler. He had 140 tackles the last 2 years as a safety. 26% of his targets, he forced an incompletion. That was 7 incompletions this year. On only 28 targets, he forced 7 of them be incomplete. That's a top 10 rate as a starting safety in college football. He's not a great true deep free safety. He doesn't have the speed to really be a true deep free safety. So he can be more of that safety linebacker hybrid. I love him in the run game, the intermediate pass game. He's 6'2", 218. So if he adds some weight, like I said, I think he can be that safety linebacker hybrid that most NFL teams have nowadays. Then at number 208, our last pick of the draft, I'm grabbing DeMonte Capehart, the D tackle from Clemson. Another D tackle, high motor 3 tech. He's not really a scheme fit since Aaron Glenn does run a 4-3, but I think he can play 4-3 D tackle. He's a better run stopper than pass rusher. In the 6th round, he kind of takes shots at a dartboard, and I think he can make the team as a run specialist. Aaron Glenn, his calling card is being one of the best run defending teams in the NFL with Detroit. So I think grabbing DeMonte Capehart, who specializes in the run at 208, is a worthy investment of a possibility of maybe making the team. But that's my draft, and that's my offseason plan for the Jets pre-NFL Combine. So if you guys enjoy it, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I post next. Let me know in the comments down below, what would you grade this offseason plan? You know, you move on from the Green Bay Packers era of the Jets. You reinvest that into the re-signings of guys that were UDFAs or late round draft picks. You sign a bunch of dudes who can really start for you day one. You get Justin Fields, Kyle McCord, and you have Jordan Travis already on the team. You invest in the weapons. You invest in the offensive line. You invest in the secondary. Things that are going to pay dividends later on. And also let me know what you think of Aaron Glenn as a head coach hire. So again, if you did enjoy, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Peace and bye.